Welcome, Egg Foo. What? First and only
Welcome
podcast
once
about
again,
people.
everybody, to another episode of Egg Food. What?
What the
Sorry,
hell was
Mike.
that?
I
You
think I
stepped
stepped
all
all
over
over
me.
you there. Sorry,
Yeah.
buddy. And I'm still stepping over you as you're talking about me stepping over you. Still stepping.
16th episode.
Is that
We're
right?
we're still getting it together.
16th episode.
Yeah.
What's Mark Maron at? 9,000?
We got a little catching up to do.
Nah.
And by then we're going to be
nah.
dead because we've eaten the entire takeout menu.
Hey, the 16th episode of Seinfeld, I think, was still pretty crappy, so we're fine. Unless it was the Chinese takeout one. Other than that,
I think that was much later.
You're going to test me here, Mike, on Seinfeld episodes?
I think so.
I would love to see it. I think our
Yeah.
fans would love to see you push me when it comes to that.
That'll
I know
be,
that for a fact. You know how I know that for a fact? It was in the second season. Oh, really? The first season. It's because when I moved to New York City back in the Middle Ages. That was back in the day when you'd walk the streets and, well, that's another thing. But they'd have those tables filled with not only books but screenplays and TV scripts. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a thing for a while in the late 90s, I think.
Yeah, and so I stumbled upon a book of the first season. It said 2 seasons, although the first season was really only 4 episodes or whatever of Seinfeld, and the final episode was the Chinese restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So that's in your stupid face, Mike. I just embarrassed you in front
Yeah,
of
you
all of
got
your
me.
people.
You got
In
me.
front of all your people.
It's my people.
I mean, I didn't want to push, but you go up against me with the Seinfeld. I mean, come on now. I do have some pride. Actually, the only pride I have is around knowing sitcoms better than anyone else, which is kind of a. I don't know if that's going to go in my obit, but
your knowledge of
else would, I guess?
sitcoms is always astounding to me.
Thank you. You didn't have to say that.
And
Very nice.
I mean, and it's like more British sitcoms, I think, than American sitcoms.
Now it is, yeah. Ever since, I mean, a little before, but ever since streaming really opened up that world, yeah. I'm probably more British right now. But I will say this, if I may give a plug to a couple of broadcast TV American shows, if you don't mind, Mike, for the next 10 seconds.
Go ahead. Yeah, maybe we can get some guests.
Well, not from these shows. Abbott Elementary. Love, love, love. I love the reboot of The Wonder Years, which is on ABC. I mean, I watch it on Hulu because I'm a little better than normal people.
Where's the other one on?
Same. No, it's on. I watch it on Hulu. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, I still watch The Connors, which just came back. And I do have a new show called Reboot. It is just what it sounds. It's on. I think it's on Hulu. It's Michael Keegan. Key. And it's a sitcom about a sitcom from the 20 or 30 years ago being rebooted. So it's a little annoyingly meta. And so I want to hate it because I think Hollywood has this idea that nothing's more fascinating than the inner workings of Hollywood. But it's not the most original show. It's kind of a broad comedy, but the cast is fantastic. And I've watched the first couple episodes and it's good. So, so anyone who wants to call me a snob because I watch British TV mostly, hey, I keep it real. You know, I watch American stuff.
I can't believe you can keep that many shows going at one time. I think at this point,
that's nice of you to say, Mike. Thank you. You didn't have to say that. That's nice. I don't know how I do it. Oh, that's right. It's being alone for the rest of my life. That makes it easy.
Well, I'm on the same page with that, but I can only bring myself to watch, say, one series at a time. You know,
really?
When I was watching a Star Trek, I mean, I sort of was watching that every day. I sort of like go all in on one thing, and then I'm not going back and forth to several shows at the same time.
Well, these are also because they're network. They drop once a week, so
they're still coming out once a week. So all right,
yeah, these are new shows, so that makes it easier. Like the Star Trek, I assume you just burrow down and truck through all 900 of them or whatever.
Yeah, it was on Paramount, and it's easy to stream, and I kind of committed myself to like an episode a day over the summer. I was doing that with the Rockford Files, and I've gotten deep into that. I'm, I guess, almost near the end of the fourth season. But they had so many episodes. They had like 30 some odd episodes a year.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a different world, but it's enjoyable.
Isn't someone else doing the Rockford Files?
It's a popular show.
The Rockford Files?
Yeah.
In 2022?
Have you watched it?
No.
It's very entertaining. It's very entertaining.
It is. Oh, I don't doubt that, but it is strange that one of these TV guys I follow, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name, has been doing that. Sorry?
Oh, James Garner? I thought you were talking about the actor in the show.
No. He's been doing a Rockford Files watch.
Okay.
So it pops up all the time. So I would not have guessed that two people on Earth in 2022 are watching the Rockford Files. But hey.
If you were a Sopranos fan, which I was a big fan of, this is the show where David Chase got his start.
That's right. I didn't know that. I got that out of one of his interviews where he's just the worst curmudgeon in the world.
He is not a very chipper person.
No.
And that comes across in every interview I've seen with him.
But, very crabby about being the author of like maybe the greatest TV show of all time.
But his hand is kind of obvious. There's like more mob related type plots. Like I think he comes on in the fourth season. So it's sort of interesting to see little themes that would pop up later in The Sopranos. You can see like, oh, okay, this is, he's got a hand in this particular episode.
Did James Garner sit on a dog and
kill it? Nothing like that. No.
Did you watch it back when it was coming out? Like I never, like even when I was a kid, I never really watched it.
I was very rarely, involved with a lot of those sitcoms, basically because you sort of have to make a commitment, and I just never really would commit to a show to be there and watch it every week at the same time. When I was a real young kid, you had the stupid shows like the Brady Bunch and Partridge Family and all that stuff. We all knew when that was on. Happy Days came on, and that was a big that was a big struggle for me because I used to have to go to CCD on Tuesday nights. God. Tuesday nights when Happy Days was on.
Jesus.
Yeah. So that was
no pun intended.
That was
we used to go. We had CCD right after church, but on Sunday. But us being in a small southern town, I don't think it was really the major leagues of whatever CCD stands for.
Yeah. Well,
Christ dictates. Christ does.
Most Catholics went until they were confirmed. That was in the 6th grade. So that's when most people bowed out, but not me. Me and my brothers, my sister, we went until we were in high school. I think I was a sophomore in high school when I was still going.
And then church? To CCD.
To CCD, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, we were committed. We were committed Catholics, and
you should have been committed going that long to CCD.
Yeah,
I don't remember really going. I think again because our Catholic church and that I think every year it would start CCD and then it would just kind of peter out.
Yeah,
I don't remember going much
right?
further. I was confirmed, yeah. But yeah, I don't really remember my CCD career as great as I maybe could have. Now I kept going to church until I left town after high school. But whether I liked it or not, and I did not like it. But CCD, I don't remember past. I guess you're right. I guess until you get confirmed, but well, that was a big day, wasn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
My father was like, "Oh, you feel different?" I'm like, "No."
You got to wear
Not
a
at all.
gown and somebody touched you on the head, you know? Okay, yeah.
Well, that sounds like a different
That
with
was
the
the
church,
Holy
my
Spirit. The Holy
yeah,
Spirit came
that was
upon you.
something.
Yeah.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, it's, you know, the Holy Spirit is coming into your life. And
Now, let me tell me that I find it hard to believe that one young Michael Lisk believed in that, even at the time.
yeah, no, you know, I went along, you know, it was like, I wasn't, what do you think? I was reading Kierkegaard in ninth grade, or no? You know,
I do.
I was, I wasn't there yet, you know, I was kind of just doing, you know, it was basically parental guidance.
Yeah.
So I had to go to church to meet my family obligations. Oh, but
Yeah.
we gradually broke away when we were older, you know, and driving ourselves to mass.
Right.
And we were
Oh
18.
yeah.
We were older than we were, you know, drinking age at that time. So
Yeah.
me and my brothers would take a drive to the local establishment, have a few
Oh.
beers, establish
Oh.
that, you know, we had put in enough time that we could go home and say we went to church. You know, we'd go
I
up
don't
to,
know if God's gonna like hearing this episode.
well, you know, he knows already, right? If he's all knowing.
He might have
We
forgotten, and he's a big fan of this podcast, and now he's
we
like, "What the
yeah,
what?"
we thought we were pulling a fast one, and we did. You know, I think we got away with that for a couple of years.
I got
Um,
in it. I got away with nothing when I was in high school. Once my brother got his license, he and I worked on a. We had our weekend jobs, so we would go to an earlier mass by ourselves. But even after he left, my senior year, I would still go to church all by myself. I'd still be the first one there to turn on the lights. And I'm like, what? Why didn't I just go to the establishment and act like, well, the answer is somebody would have, my parents would have found out in about 0 minutes. But
uh,
I was such a good soldier, I would still show up every Sunday
you didn't become
until the very second that I didn't have to.
you didn't put in to become an altar boy?
No.
No,
Did you?
no. But my friends, I think one of my friends was doing it. I remember getting a backstage. We went backstage at the
Wow.
church. He gave us a little guided tour, and we saw where the wine was. We were thinking of swiping a bottle of wine, but there was none there. We were a little older, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I never made it to the altar boy. That was a commitment I didn't make. Two of my friends went to the Catholic school, so they, you know, they got the nuns and the priests, you know, every day at
Mm-hmm.
school.
Yeah.
I was fortunate. I was happy that I didn't have that experience.
You want to know speaking of sitcoms, you want to know what I would assume to be the single greatest sitcom episode about an altar boy. You ever watch the show Moon Boy?
No.
It's Chris O'Dowd. I think you know he was the guy in Bridesmaids. He's an Irish actor from the IT crowd.
No.
Just
just
he wore a leather
just
jacket and said,
assume that I don't know.
"Hey."
I don't have your TV knowledge.
Oh well. Anyway, so it's loosely based on him growing up in Ireland, and he's like 12-year-old kid, and this kid gets he becomes totally fascinated with the altar boys because they just look so cool, and you know they're the cool dudes in church. So he worms his way into their little organization, and then it plays out like they're like a mob run by 12-year-olds, very seedy underbelly. And I can't recommend it. I can't recommend that show highly enough. And that might be my favorite, just solid laugh out loud episode. That is Moon Boy, Moone Boy by Chris O'Dowd. Moon Boy.
What year are we talking?
I ran for 3 seasons. I think probably, let's say 13, 14, 15.
Oh, okay. Not
Within the
that long
last,
ago.
no.
Okay.
And of course, the last episode, Paul Rudd is a guest star, which I hated because I'm the American that loves this show. And of course, he's Paul Rudd, so he was absolutely delightful and really good. So, but no, I was never an altar boy. Never dreamed of it. So, I mean, maybe there's still a chance. I don't know. What's the oldest altar boy ever? Do you think?
That's a good question. Yeah, there was. I think it gets cut off. I mean, I would say, maybe 15, 16, you're out.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
What if I went in and said I want to be an altar boy? Because of my age, I've had decades to really think about my commitment to being an altar boy. That's way better than some shitty little 12-year-olds because mother's making them.
What would be your favorite job as an altar boy? Ringing the bells.
Ringing the bell. That's the glory spot.
Holding the umbrella.
Umbrella.
When a bishop came to town, they'd had this sort of umbrella. Yeah, I never understood this. They've got an umbrella indoors, and they'd walk down the aisle with this umbrella. And then, but the best job, I think, is the swinging the incense.
Oh,
at Christmas time.
Eesh. I don't know if I'm ready for the show. But maybe
I've told this story many times before, but when I'll tell it again because it's a classic. It's Christmas time. Me and my friends. One of my friends was a big fan of church, mainly because he thought it was a good place to pick up girls.
Hold on, let me write that down. Hold on. Church, chicks. All right. Cool.
Yeah, that was that. He thought it was really a good place to mingle with the opposite sex. And so one year we're going to go to midnight mass, Christmas Eve. That's the big one.
Oh,
and of course, it's mobbed. It's packed. There's not
the once a year people.
Yeah, the once a year people, but also kind of like, sort of you're really in the Christmas spirit, and you just want to get it over with quickly. And of course, we did some pre-gaming before we went to mass.
I mean, are you capable of entering a church without being loaded? Not that I'm against it. I just wish I had thought of it.
Well, this was when the drinking age was 18, and I was still a senior in high school when I reached drinking age, because I had to wait a year. My birthday's in November. So they made me wait a year because of that. So I was, one of the oldest people in my class, and I had actually turned 18, just a couple months into my senior year, which is crazy when I think about it, because it did play a part in some of my declining academic achievements. Let's put it that way. But anyway,
are we confronting these demons, Michaelis?
No, I'm just admitting my, plus I got, what it was? I
drank away that World Geography Award, did we?
Not only could I drink 2 months into my senior year, I got an early admission to college in December.
Oh boy, that is senioritis.
So I kind of like checked out, 3 months into my senior year. I ended up flunking an honors advanced algebra and trig class, which is nuts,
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm not proud of this. It was a real drop off, but I was already in college and not thinking about, I had all my credits. That was never in jeopardy. So yeah, I kind of cut loose. So anyway,
that is ultimate senioritis right there. My academics plummeted that 2 months in too, but not because of drinking, just general insouciance, if that's the right word. I have no idea what that really means, but
I think that's the right word.
Seemed to roll off my tongue. It is, right? God damn, I'm good.
So senior year, Christmas Eve, we pre-game over at my friends. We shoot a little pool. We have a few beers. We go to midnight mass. Everybody's crammed in. Can't even move. I'm layered up. For some reason, I've got a sweater on. I got a shirt underneath. Really layered up. And,
is that all the layers? I mean, I was hoping for a little more dramatic.
A coat, sweater, just, the triple layer thing going. And then they come in with the incense, and they start swinging that incense, and I went into a swoon. I fainted. No, and I went flat on my back.
You woke up with Father Father Whoever's lips. Give me the kiss of life.
I went flat out on a pew. My friend said my eyes were rolling into the back of my head. I had a
the devil. It was the devil, Mike Liss. The devil.
Yeah, I could have used an exorcism on the spot. One of my classmates was like right behind me, so she sees me go flat out. So, that story starts running around.
I guess you do meet women at church.
Yeah, I remember I saw her in school later, and it's like, what happened? What happened?
Oh my God.
I saw you look like you got shot. So yeah, it was quite a memorable. I think that was the last time I went to midnight mass. Yeah, one and done.
Yeah, I mean, the devil tried to get you,
but I came back. Yeah, it was
with
a
vengeance.
Yeah.
Who was this lady that
was
a classmate
of mine? Yeah. Very nice person.
Mm-hmm. No sparks there. Can we get some? Can we get sparks. You two together?
No sparks. It didn't happen. Just a friend, as they say.
You drank and fainted in church. I mean, you did all you could.
I drank and fainted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, proud moments. Proud moments.
I can honestly say, as many times as I've had a few sherbets down my neck, I don't think I've ever gone to church drunk. I don't think.
No. Okay. A better man.
I mean, well,
as Eddie Vedder might put it, better man.
Keep going.
No, that's all I know. I think that may be my favorite Pearl Jam song. I think.
You know what?
It's not a bad one.
I have a very limited, for someone my age and my, let's just say it, incredible whiteness. I have a incredible lack of Pearl Jam slices. Like, I think that probably would be my favorite. I only know the Jeremy Alive, that one. I don't think I can name 10 Pearl Jam songs. And I'm not shitting on them. Like, I just never liked them. And I like Eddie Vedder. He seems like the nicest guy in the world. But yeah, I never got into Pearl Jam.
Yeah, the first album didn't do it for me. I gave him a couple tries. Vitalogy, is that how you pronounce that? That's the one with Better Man on there, and I like that song.
Yeah, I like that song. Yeah,
is that cover they do? Is it a Jan and Dean song or whatever?
Oh, they did
Dead Man's Curve. Is that it?
Not Dead Man's Curve. There's a car crash.
Yeah.
Not Dead Man's Curve, but not.
Yeah, we'll get into
something.
Is it Jan and Dean?
Damn it! Oh.
Google it in the meanwhile. But that's a good cover. I like that cover.
Yeah, well, they're one of those, like, I mean, it wasn't really their. I hated them when they first came out because I resented Nirvana, and I thought Pearl Jam was kind of the junior varsity Nirvana. Just because when Nirvana hit, I was excited. I was like, hey, you guys like this, then obviously you love the Replacements and Husker Du and blah blah blah, and everybody's like, no, this is good. And so I got a little bent out of shape. And then Pearl Jam came along, and I was like, well, this is just a fucking watered down version of everything, which isn't fair. And I bet if you drag me to a Pearl Jam show, I bet it's great. I bet they put on a great show, even if I don't know the song.
They've got a loyal following. I mean, I think all these shows are recorded and they're available.
Yeah,
you know, like Deadheads, but Pearl Jam, fanatics. They've got all the shows. Are the shows that different? I mean, it seems odd to me. But
Well, I think if you're a big band now, I guess why wouldn't you just record it and package it? I don't know if they sell them.
Yeah, I think you can get them. It's. I don't think they're expensive. I think it's like $10 or whatever.
Yeah, like
Nothing
why
crazy.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then you get to control how good it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I bet even I would have fun at a Pearl Jam show. Last Kiss.
Last Kiss. That's it. Yeah.
I can't remember how it goes. I'm gonna play it for 2 seconds. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's
This
see
is
if
a
this one.
first. A first.
This is the first. Great, we're gonna get sued by Eddie Vedder or whoever. All right,
I
here
don't
we
think
go.
he can play more than 5 seconds.
Oh, that's right. The Lord took her away from me. That was me and Eddie Vedder singing Last Dance.
I,
Okay, that's
I
now.
couldn't tell the
Yeah.
difference. I couldn't tell the difference.
Oh, Mike, that's nice of you to say. That's nice.
I,
Now
I
everybody's
thought you
gonna
were playing the
badger me to get
recording.
it. Now Eddie's gonna badger me to come up on stage. I don't need that. Come on now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, now I remember. Yeah. Where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. Bum, 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 bum.
That's the one.
That's all I'm singing.
Is it Jan and Dean?
No, it's
No. Some other.
I don't think I read. Shit. Now I got.
Maybe like a girl group.
Released by Wayne Cochran on the Revived. That doesn't sound like the. It says Wayne Cochran. Seems like I don't know. Seems like I would have heard of the name of the group, but I guess Wayne Cochran. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Why are we talking about Pearl Jam? What happened?
Are we avoiding talking about sweet and sour pork? You went for the pork.
I did the chicken actually.
Oh, you did the chicken. Okay.
Yeah.
You went for sweet and sour chicken. I went for the sweet and sour combination.
Right. I'm not that brave. I should have done pork. I always do chicken. I don't know why I didn't do pork. Damn it.
I'll tell you this, Greg. So let me describe what I got. It wasn't what I was expecting.
Okay.
I got
is that picture indicative? Because it looks different.
No, the picture is not indicative of what I had. Basically, what I got was a large. Well, the one thing, I couldn't even get a small order. I had to order the large order. So,
America, baby.
So I'm already like at $12.95 for this dish, which is twice as much.
Can somebody please start sending us money?
So they got me over the barrel this time. But
they're screwing you, giving you the Scroogey.
So I got 3 containers. I got the container of rice. I got the fried. They're fried. The chicken, the shrimp, and the pork, and every piece was in a different shape. So just looking at the fried items, it was very hard to tell which was the chicken, which was the pork. The shrimp was kind of a little more obvious. And in some cases, the shrimp were fused. So it actually formed like a heart-shaped fried
Refused to do what?
Fried donut type thing. So and
don't
then,
tease me by looking like a donut.
and then the third container was the goop. Now, my goop was very similar to the goop that I got when we got the fried wontons.
Oh God.
So but I kind of like the idea that they let me control how much goop I apply.
Yes.
Now, was yours already applied, the goop?
Let me say this about the goop. Number one, we seem to have no luck with the goop week by week. And I think, mine came on the side.
Yeah.
And usually I ask for it on the side, but I think, unlike back in the day, back when you were drinking and going to church, I think they used to dump it and you had to ask for it on the side. But I have a feeling that now it's kind of the default, putting it on the side.
Yeah, I think that goop is so strong that they let you. They're going to get less complaints if they let the customer apply it. But here's the thing, I resisted this dish pretty much my whole life. Something about the photo that they had, they display. It's like it looked red to me, and mine did have like a red sauce. What color was your sauce?
Red.
Yeah, it was like red.
I wasn't able to take a picture because I went out with a couple of people from work,
Uh,
and I'm still not comfortable taking a picture of food out in public. I don't know why. It's not like
I'm with you on
anybody
that one. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like anybody looks at me. It's like, oh my god, this guy eats food. But I just felt stupid. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just that
Okay.
bright red sauce that I think is pretty standard. Anytime I've ever seen it, and usually I don't eat it. Usually I just get sweet and sour chicken and treat it like chicken McNuggets, which is how I treat all my food.
Well, that's what it's going to be when I
yeah.
have my leftovers. I think I'm just going to zap it in the microwave and eat it like nuggets. I'm not going to really get into the sauce. I only got a little bit of it left. I did sort of apply the sauce to try and get the full effect.
Yes. Same
But
here.
it was too much, and I ended up actually dumping, the rice that had a fair amount of goop on it. I think this is the first time I had to dump stuff. Yeah. So it wasn't such a great experience.
I know we have to pry leftover food out of your paws to dump it, but I know that was tough.
Yeah, no, I don't like to do that.
Yeah, mine. I was the same. Just for these purposes, I used some goop, very lightly because I knew, and it was, it was fine. It wasn't horrible. Probably because I was able to control it. But yeah, next time I'll just always go back to just eating the chicken, which is delightful as always. So, I mean, to be honest, is it okay if you say sweet and sour chicken and don't even bother sending me the shit, the goop?
Well,
like, will they be hurt?
You're spending a little. It's a little more expensive than if you just got the nuggets, right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Some places don't sell it separately. Like if you order the sweet and sour chicken, that's one kind of chicken. Then if you get the nuggets, that's a different kind of chicken. Then if you get this, they seem to have different chickens for different dishes. But otherwise, I'm happy to use these as I'll say McNuggets.
My McNuggets in this dish did not look like McNuggets. I mean, they were all different shapes. I mean, like I said, I think every item, every piece of fried matter in this container was a different shape. So it was like hard to even identify which was pork, which was I actually was cutting the pieces in half to see, is this pork or is this chicken? Because here's the thing, you fry just about anything, it sort of tastes the same. It's got that, that fried batter sort of overwhelms what's ever inside. And that's why we have this phenomena of, frying candy bars and, all this nonsense, because it all tastes the same.
Yeah.
Once you put it in there.
When I was in Oxford, not that one, Mississippi. There was a place.
Is that going to be your catchphrase of this show?
I always have to qualify it. Okay. Usually I let it go a little bit, let people think, what? But these people, I feel like already know me well enough. They're not gonna. But there's a place called Cobb's, and it was a buffet. And you walk in, and it was this huge line, this huge buffet, and it was wall to wall, deep fried. Name the animal, it was there.
Yeah.
Squirrel, rattlesnake, elk, whatever.
Okay.
And you look, and it all looked like just fried chicken. It all looked like.
Where was this? It is in Mississippi.
Mississippi. It just all looked like severely fried chicken. I don't remember what I tried. I mean, even that, I don't know. And I remember when I was there, the place burned down, and I remember joking, how could anybody tell? I don't know if I got any laughs. It was still, still fresh on people's minds. But
I think technically this is the first time I've ever ordered sweet and sour. I've avoided it my entire adult life. Somebody brought it in one time to the bar I was working at, and I'm like, let me taste that, because I was kind of surprised somebody had ordered it. So maybe I've been missing out. So he gave me a piece, and it wasn't so bad. And his came pre-gooped. Everything was gooped with his, and it wasn't bad. I think it was better than what I got today.
Well, I would think, isn't would you say sweet and sour chicken or pork is probably like in the top 5 of universal standard Chinese food?
You think so? You think it's that high?
Ah, I would not have a problem believing it.
Yeah.
I would say, but yeah, I even with my beloved egg foo young, I get a little annoyed if the gravy comes already plastered on the patties. Even if it's great, I mean, I'll
Yeah.
still inhale. I still love it, but I prefer it on the side. But now the question is, are we about to get sponsored by Gwyneth Paltrow and her Goop label?
Oh, is that her thing?
Is that what we're gunning for right here?
I didn't know she had trademarked that name.
Well, it seems like it was meant to be, since she has seen me naked, and now we're talking about her Goop, whatever. So I don't know if mentioning those two things together are a bit too much for people to imagine.
I don't think I've heard this story myself.
Of Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah, when did she see you naked?
No, of course you've heard. You were probably there. Remember, we were all at was it Coyote Ugly? And after a couple of pops, I decided to return from the bathroom al fresco, and Gwyneth Paltrow had walked in, and apparently I sat down and chatted her up a bit, and it wasn't me that got kicked out of the bar. It was our friend, our fiery spark plug of a friend whose name starts with G. No chance in hell you weren't there that night.
I don't remember this. I mean, I could have been in another part of the bar, right? I mean, was it a crowded evening and she kind of just passed through the crowd?
I mean, I think it was not so crowded. Then I started walking around naked and the crowd started coming.
All right. Yeah, no, I think I vaguely remember this. Yeah.
Yeah. And we did.
I try to block. They say that there's a psychological thing where you block out certain things. So maybe, yeah, I think an image of the back of your ass and your white legs moving through the crowd.
I mean,
you just had the pants off, as I recall.
Yeah, well, that's the most important part to take off. Nobody wants. Yeah, I'm not gonna go chat up a Hollywood movie star shirtless. Pantsless is where I make my mark. So at that point, maybe she was. This would have been 98 or 99. So I wonder if she was with Brad Pitt then.
Possibly.
So somewhere Brad Pitt, it's possible that inside of Brad Pitt's brain there is a story of me naked.
Now, what did our mutual friend do to get it kicked out, though? I mean,
I think
she's the only person I know. Let me just give a little footnote here.
Oh yeah,
she's the only person I know who ever got thrown out of a Pogues concert.
Yes, that is remarkable.
I mean, that's an achievement.
Yeah,
that
Shane McGowan must have been
sort of boggles the mind. In that crowd, she managed to get thrown out of a Pogues concert
on her birthday.
Yeah, it was her birthday. Yeah,
that is impressive. I've done some dumb shit. I've done some dumb shit that's become great legend. I don't know. That's tough to top. Getting kicked out of a Pogue show. That is.
But what got her kicked out of Coyote Ugly, though?
Oh, because apparently the bartender said to her, "Hey, could you get your fucking friend to put his pants back on?" And of course,
she took your side.
Our little friend, huh?
She took your side. She defended.
Well, yeah. Apparently, our little friend got a little and so she was like, "All right, fuck it, you're out." So she kicked her out.
All right, and that's her prerogative. I mean, I'm a bartender, so yeah. I mean, they could throw anybody out they want.
Well, it's like when I got busted pissing in the street, and I got sent home in a nice cab thanks to the NYPD with a couple of bucks for some yogurt, while our other friend got hauled off to the to a cell for being a smartass. So,
yeah, he got sassy.
All these situations I just seem to seem to make happen, and then somebody else gets in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, even when you did get thrown out on your own at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, which we've talked about before. You did manage to get a train ticket back to Brooklyn.
I think maybe I should just be wasted all the time, because apparently that maybe apparently strangers are kind to me and, you know, take care of me. Maybe that should be my MO.
Yeah.
But hey, Gwyneth Goop, that's her thing, right? Goop, that's her brand.
She's into all sorts of health things, and she's got yeah, she's like the Avon lady or whatever. The new age Avon lady or something. She's
not married to Coldplay guy anymore, so
no.
I don't know who she's married to. But yeah, but so yeah, I was very fine with my sweet and sour chicken. The chicken was good as always.
I like that nice little segue. Yeah. You just
keep
it let's just ease on out of the walking around naked in
Well,
Coyote Ugly.
I'm happy to keep talking about walking around naked.
I remember one time when I first started going to school in NYU, it was like a nice summer evening, and I'm sitting there. It's right now at Washington Square Park, a beautiful setting, and I'm just walking through, and I see this guy ahead of me, and he's got very tight pants on, very tight white pants on. And then as I drew nearer, no, he's naked. He's walking around with no
Mike,
pants.
You should have said hello.
He's just taking a stroll. And yeah, I was like, okay, now I'm in New York. You know, I felt like, okay, now I've got my official walk, you know, seeing some dude walking around nude. And I've got a story for my friends, my rubes back in the States.
What happened to him?
Nothing. He you know, it was just the summer evening he was enjoying, but without pants. You know, nobody was alarmed. You know, there weren't a lot of people around, and he was just strolling. You know, maybe he's a nudist, and you know, he knows when you know, the proper times are to walk around the streets of New York naked, and nobody bothered him.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Nobody
I'll take
screamed.
that over the first day when I first came to visit New York. I was 19, just visiting for the weekend, and I'm walking along, you know, just behind people like always, and just kind of not focusing or whatever. And all of a sudden, I realized the guy in front of me, I can still picture him, had a snake wrapped around his neck.
Okay.
So of course I'm like, what the? And 6 years later, when I was thinking about moving to New York City, I honestly took a couple of minutes to think, you know, I don't know if I can live in a place where people walk around with fucking snakes wrapped around.
Was it a big, like, boa type snake?
It looked like a boa. It was definitely big. It was, I guess it's a boa. I don't know what kind of snake do you walk around with. I mean, it was, you know, it was probably, the circumference was probably, which one is circumference? Going around or across?
Yeah, around.
I would say the circumference was 8 inches.
Okay.
And
all right. Well, yeah, that's kind of a thin. I'd say it probably was a boa, not a python. I think the python are thicker.
Little boa. I can still picture him he had a jean jacket on. And for a split second, I was like, I don't know if I can move to a place where people walk around with snakes. But I triumphed over that fear. You're welcome, New York City.
I had a guy. I mean, of course, you know, I've got a Masses Tavern customer. His name was Nick, and they called him the Snake Man.
Do I know where this is going? Sexy Mike List?
I don't think so. So the Snake Man, you know, he kept these. I think he had a python. You know, he had these huge snakes that, you know, he kept as pets. You know, he had like a cage that took up like half the size, you know, half his room, because you got to contain them. He didn't let it just roam.
No, good for him. What a guy.
And well, here's the story though. He tried to turn this into a little, you know, way of getting attention to himself. So he offered to bring in his snakes to different schools in the area. And, you know, some of the schools took him up on that. So he'd bring in the snakes. So imagine, you know, you're at school and your teacher tells you, oh, somebody's going to bring in a python. So of course, you know, the kids, it was a big hit with the kids. You know, this guy comes in with this giant snake. Well, he's at one of these demonstrations.
You still talking about Altar Boys? I'm sorry. I can't make. These are the worst fucking priest jokes. Sorry. Last one. I'm sorry.
Okay. So he's out. He's in a class with this snake, and guess what? The snake, does what it normally does. It starts choking him out.
Oh my god.
And he passes out. Of course,
kids are just staring, thinking it's part of the show.
No, yeah, it was
like Red Fox when he had his heart attack.
It came like a nightmare, yeah. And so he left a classroom of traumatized children. He did survive the incident, but I think it took a bit of panic on his part and some squirming, some aggressive squirming to dislodge the python that was going to choke him out.
Sounds like my sex life. Hey-o!
So yeah.
Is he still with us?
I haven't seen him in a while. He was an interesting character, and he was sort of my introduction to the bars of Bayonne, because I met this guy. He started hitting me up with this sob story about he had a bunch of heart operations, that he had stents and all sorts of operations, and so I'm really feeling sort of some sympathy. He's telling me, he started giving me the sob story about his wife was giving him a hard time, one thing after another. And eventually I kind of bought him a couple drinks. I was very sympathetic to his plight. And
because of his heart condition, you said, what we need to do, get some booze down here. Dr. Mike.
Well, he said, yeah. I wasn't really
I think
thinking.
I'm coming off as anti-booze this episode. Believe me.
I assumed, I assumed he was fully recovered at this point, But anyway, so he leaves, and then everybody starts like laughing. They're like, "You idiot! He's a bullshit artist. You fell for him, his stupid lines."
Oh my god.
So you think I would have learned, right? But let's jump ahead a couple years. Now I
like the way you're laying out this exposition, Mike. So let's jump ahead.
It's I think we should just call this episode's Mike's proud moments, because I did some stupid things in my life. So jump ahead a few years later. I've been a bartender for a few years in Bayonne, but I'd go to another bar. I liked the food at this place. I'd go there on my off time. And then I get this other guy, and he starts giving me the lines, about his wife is taking his daughter away from him, all this stuff, just laying it on thick. I mean, he had a good story, lots of details that were convincing, right? Then, I mean, he was a little more direct. He asked me for some money, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this will be a customer of mine down the road.
It's an investment for you. All right. I like that.
I have to, schmooze the people who may be my future customers. So I give this guy like a 20. I was feeling generous. I was back to work. I mean, I had been out of work for a while, and so I was feeling somewhat generous. I give him a 20, and we're still sitting there. And in Bayonne, there's a whole bootleg DVD network of people who pop into bars with all these bootleg DVDs. They're $5 each. It's not a bad deal.
Still,
so I just gave this guy $20. He calls over the bootleg lady. He starts skimming through the bootlegs. I'm sitting there like, what? This guy's hard on his luck, and he's gonna buy a copy of the Avengers, or something. But here's what he does. He's like, where's the adult movies? Because they don't hand you the adult movies unless you ask.
Oh yeah, you gotta ask. Because if it's the Century and you're buying DVDs of porn, you have to ask.
So now he's going through the adult DVDs. And guess what? He buys $20. There goes my $20. So
think about how happy he was later on, thanks to you. Maybe 2 or 3 times. You did a good deed.
Yeah.
We had a guy in boot camp that he was one of these conniving little shits. And I'm sorry to say, but guess which state he was from? New Jersey. I can still picture. He was one of these. He was like a 4.5 foot dynamo. He was one of these guys coming up to you. He just smelled the hick on me, and yeah, he was one of these conniving little Jersey shits that you knew he was bullshitting you. He knew you knew.
North Jersey or South Jersey?
That I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
Makes a difference.
I don't want to start a civil war. And he knew that you knew he was full of shit, and yet somehow, yeah, he would always have this sob story. Oh my God, it just my wife, my kid this, my mother this, my grandmother that, and you just give him money, knowing he's full of shit, and it was like in slow motion. Oh yeah, your aunt got eaten by a bear and raped by a snake. All right, here's $5. You know, you don't have any. It's not like you really have a lot of cash, and you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can still picture him. I can't think of his name, but little fucking Jersey rat walking around, taking cash from noble patriots like myself who just wanted to serve their country. I wonder what happened to him. Probably he's Rick DeSantis. That's who.
You didn't look him up on
Ron DeSantis. No, I don't remember his name. No. This is back in the 40s. I mean, this is
the 40s.
But yeah, he just you knew it, he knew it, and it's just how it was. He was like from the major leagues of bullshitting, and I was helpless.
I think it's an art in New Jersey. I think that it does.
Well, for this guy Nick to bullshit you,
yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that was before I found out about the python choking him out. So as soon as he left, everybody filled me in on the details because that was my first meeting with this character. But everybody else in the bar, I think they got a kick out of me, not knowing all the local dudes, because everybody
sounds like it was a rite of passage. Oh, let's let Mike get ripped off by this shit.
I was still, the out of towner to these guys who lived their whole lives in Bayonne. So, I was the rube in Bayonne that they enjoy just seeing some guy get one over on them. So, yeah, they were all amused by that.
People with snakes as pets, I don't understand them. And they're like, hey, come look at it. Once every 6 months, he eats half a mouse and lays there.
Oh, yeah, this guy, had to get chickens. Yeah, no, the whole deal. It's bizarre.
If I was president, and could remove, if I could just be flat out, not racist, but animalist, and remove a group of people from the country, it would be snake owners. Get the hell out of my country. What is wrong with you?
Snake owner.
I don't
What about the little snakes, though? You have them in like a terrarium.
You know what little snakes become? Big snakes.
Now, some of them, don't get that big.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not sticking around to see how big they get.
Okay.
I have a 5th gear. If I see a snake, I will sprint past you. I save it.
You're not afraid of them, are you?
I'm terrified of them. What do you mean I'm not afraid of them? What?
What about a green snake in the grass?
No. Snakes have no arms and no legs and can kill you. It is not irrational to be scared of snakes. I think it's irrational to not be scared of snakes. I don't care how little they are, how cute they are. I don't care if it's, doing chin-ups or something, watching. No snakes. I have a 5th gear tucked away for if I need to sprint from a snake.
What about when you were young Greg Wilson running around? Were you going down to the creek, getting some tadpoles? Were you looking for some pickerels? You put them in a bucket.
Pickerel
fish? Pickerel?
Oh,
pickerel.
I'm happy as a kid if I found a frog or whatever. Sure. Snakes.
Yeah, frogs.
No. At no point in my youth was I curious, gee, will snakes be my friends?
But you came across them once in a while in those adventures,
Of course.
right? Yeah.
That's how I knew to be terrified.
But you never handled one? I mean, they're kind of,
no.
No? I mean, a little
Why would I
green
handle a
snake,
snake?
a little green
No.
snake.
No.
They feel silky. I mean, they're surprisingly silky. They're not slimy at
Well,
all.
I'll feel some silk. If you hand me a bottle of silk, I'll feel the silk.
I mean, people
Well,
think
now, when I was a kid, when I was like one of my earliest memories, I guess I would have been 4 or 5. Is my brother and I, we came home and there was a black snake with its head on the front steps. Somehow it had raised its head, so it was on the front step. The rest of its body was like hanging off it and like going into the yard. In my head, the snake is 20 feet long. It was probably 6 feet long, and I can still see it just sitting there staring ahead. But in my defense, it did take a couple of the neighborhood men to come over and take care of it. And I believe there was a riding lawnmower involved.
Oh, no. Why?
So
couldn't they just take it back to the woods?
I don't know what they did. I mean, I do know what they did. They ran over with the fucking lawnmower. So maybe if you broke it down, that's my fear. Or I don't understand people are not scared of snakes. Because unlike sharks, you have to go to their house. Snakes can be anywhere.
But it depends on the snake.
Are you taking the snake side? What do you mean defend?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to find out. I
handle little green snakes. They're good for the garden. People, I mean, snakes are good animals.
People say that too. Oh, they eat the flies and the mice. Yeah. I don't mind the flies and the mice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't bother me. They can't kill me with their little fangs. They're not going to wrap around my throat and eat me.
Yeah.
Are you scared of no snakes?
Well, cobras? Yeah. I mean, but I don't come across a cobra in my daily life.
That would be my least favorite job ever. Like, didn't what's his name from the Actors Studio? One of his questions was, "What job would you want if you weren't an actor?" And then, what was your least favorite? My least favorite job would be those people in India who, if there's a cobra that got inside your hut, but you can't find it,
mm-hmm.
you call this guy in, and he crawls around around your hut, digging in the shadows or underneath stuff, looking for the cobra.
Mm-hmm.
No thanks. That is, other than being born into the flying Walendas, that would be my least favorite job of all time.
Mm-hmm. I'm learning something.
Well, I don't. Is that controversial? That can't be controversial. If you turn this into peanut butters and Doritos, I'm gonna come to Jersey.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I want to congratulate you. You won your first Twitter poll.
Michael,
the majority of people, and by majority, like we're talking barely 40%.
Don't try to spin this.
Agreed with you man. That Doritos don't smell like feet. So congratulations.
If feet smell like Doritos, the world would be a better place. well, let me say, thank you. I know it wasn't easy for you to say this, and I appreciate it. But what kind of snakes do you like?
Those little green ones. I had experience with them. I mean, I haven't seen a snake in a while. It's not like they're all over the neighborhood or anything. But they keep to themselves. They're not.
Until they don't. You only need the one. They keep to themselves.
They keep to themselves. They like to hide in the grass. They don't want to hang out.
No, thank you, snakes.
They're not even on the sidewalk.
Maybe it's the Ireland in me. Maybe it's the Irish in me.
You don't see snakes.
That I have a natural fear of snakes.
I've got my share of Irish blood in me. I don't have this fear of snakes. I'll let it hang there. Did you get a fortune cookie? You're still there?
What's the biggest, baddest snake you've ever been confronted with?
I haven't been confronted with large snakes. I mean, I've only seen and handled little green snakes in the grass. I'm not
very fond of little green snakes.
Well, they don't seem like a threat to me, so I'm not going to go around stomping them or trying to trap them and kill them.
Well, you're wrong. I mean, I'm so scared of snakes that sometimes, you know, when I come home, you know, my clothes will explode off my body, and I'll leave you ladies a minute with that. And if I take off my belt and throw it on the floor, because that's what adults do. Later on, if I'm walking through my apartment, I glance at my belt, lay down on the floor,
and you jump.
It'll jump. I mean, oh shit! And like sometimes I found myself doing that 3 or 4 times a night. Now, as I say this, looking back, maybe I should just pick up the belt and put it away.
So we can trace this all back to that black snake sitting on your porch, right? This is where this all comes from. You were traumatized. You were traumatized.
Either that, I think that times my being Irish, times I have a brain and eyeballs, and I think that probably adds up to a healthy, I would say a healthy fear of snakes. There's plenty of ways for me to die. I don't need to go looking for it in a fucking snake cage.
All right.
Although, you know what? I got to say something. I do have a favorite snake. I do have to say is the Bronx Zoo cobra. Remember that him?
No.
When that cobra got loose in the Bronx Zoo, and someone started a Twitter feed.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still around, but for a while this was like 2000. I was still in New York, probably 2010 or 11. Bronx Zoo cobra. That was a funny fucker.
Okay.
Now I don't think the cobra was doing the tweeting, so I have to give credit to a human. So even then, but if I had to pick a snake, it would be the Bronx Zoo cobra snake. And I think they caught him after 2 or 3 days. But, I don't know who the guy was. I don't even know if it's still a Twitter account, but okay, that's one snake I do like.
I mean, I follow a lot of the animal Twitter accounts because they're probably the most interesting, you know.
What are the animal Twitter accounts? I mean, I have a lot of dog Instagram accounts where it's just
dogs. I mean, there's one, I think it's out of Germany or something. It's got 1 million followers. I mean, they post some interesting, all different sorts of animals, you know. I don't know.
I don't know why you need to go to Germany to get some funny dogs, but
no. But let me just tell this story because I think I may have found like a new amusing thing to do on Twitter. Because let's face it, Twitter's a cesspool. I mean, it's just stupidity 24/7.
That's right. That's nice of you to say. That's nice of you to say, Mike. Thank you.
You
didn't have to say that.
Your content aside, but somebody posted this video. I don't know. Maybe you saw it. I mean, it was a popular video. It was a dog, you know, sort of helping its owner. The owner was loading tires, and this dog is sort of going around trying to get 4 tires at once. And you know, it was taking a while because you can see that the video was edited because it took this dog a while
to do what, drag the tires
to get all the tires in its mouth. You know, I think there may have been one around its neck, you know, but instead of going back and forth with 1 tire at a time,
right,
he was determined to do all 4 at once.
Idiot.
Well, yeah, that was basically my take. So my comment was, in all the time it took him to do that, he could have took one individually back and forth, you know. But here's the thing. Here's the funny part. And this is Twitter at its best. So somebody took offense.
/worst.
Somebody took offense at my joke that I insulted this dog's intelligence, right? So this young woman from South Africa, of all places, she chimes in something to the effect of, there's always got to be one jerk in the crowd, and you're it.
From South Africa. Was it Dave Matthews?
No.
She was calling you a jerk? Or
yeah, she called me a jerk because I made a joke of how dim-witted this dog was. And but here's the fascinating thing about Twitter. This thing, her calling me a jerk. What's the I got ratioed. You know what that term means?
I've heard it. I do not know what it actually means.
Okay, I just learned myself because
the hard way.
Yeah, well, when somebody sort of insults you and then they get more likes than your initial tweet got, that's being ratioed. So here's the
Why
thing.
is it ratioed?
Well, who knows? The ratio is higher of dislikes than likes. I guess, I don't understand Twitter.
If you don't know, Mike, don't make shit up. Please. I'm confused enough.
I just learned this myself. So anyway, I got ratioed. All these people are liking her tweet, calling me a jerk. I mean, I got some people who understood the joke, but I just thought, oh, maybe this is a new thing to amuse myself. And this went on for weeks, Greg, because this account is so huge.
When was this? I need to go dig into this. I need to add myself to the ratio.
It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I think I recently got another person liking her tweet, because I'm in the thread, so I see every time she gets a like for calling me a jerk. But I thought maybe this is a new thing to amuse myself on Twitter. Is with all these animal videos, just go in there and insult their intelligence of a dog or a cat,
A dog.
and just watch the commotion it causes,
I like the idea of sitting there quietly watching a dog do something and then just suddenly hearing a voice, idiot. Fucking idiot.
Well, you agreed with me, just me describing it. You had the same reaction. So,
yeah.
I mean.
Well, yeah. Well, you start with that, you think of the old thing about, on this side of the river, there's a chicken and some grain and a fox.
Yeah.
How do you get them all across the river?
Mm-hmm.
And this dog would not have handled that well.
No, it wouldn't have figured it out.
Even a German dog.
Yeah.
Good as they are with engineering, that could not have pulled that off. Now, when you brought up a dog in Germany, I thought we were going to get into the Ken Burns Holocaust. Did you watch the Ken Burns?
No, I have to commit to that. How many episodes is it?
It's 3. Each one's about 2 hours. I mean, if you think you were depressed about the Holocaust now,
yeah, well, that's the thing.
Tuck in.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm not. I'm aware of it, and I've seen that footage, and I don't want to really revisit it. I mean, I recently, I don't understand why Netflix has a 10-episode Jeffrey Dahmer series going on.
Yeah, I have no interest in that. It's real. I know it's super hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in. I'm not a serial killer guy. Like, I don't get into that stuff.
I went through a period where I got into true crime.
Serial killing.
No, true crime. Like in the early 90s, I read a lot of. You ever read Anne Rule? She was kind of the queen of that.
I don't get any crude. I mean, I have true crime. These true crime things seem to have been invented for women, because I have women friends who that's all they watch, and there's a whole channel for it, and they just spend hours watching these true crime things, and it's always the husband. Mm-hmm. Everyone, it's the husband. And it's these cops who, for some reason, feel fine getting on camera and showing how baffled they were, could not solve this murder, when all you do is you scream at the TV, it's the husband. I promise you it's the husband.
I have to admit, I did go through the forensic files pretty much beginning to end. And that show is very well done. I mean, they show you all the different ways of investigating things, and it's interesting, But you're right. It is a larger majority of women are into true crime.
Yeah.
But there are classics.
Not my thing. Yeah.
You never read in Cold Blood?
You know what? I tried to read it. I saw the movie a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I liked it. I guess I liked it. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll finally read the book. And I don't think I made it through 20 pages. Something about the writing just annoyed me.
Give it another shot. I have to say.
Don't tell me what to do, Michaelis.
Give it another shot, because that book is actually terrifying. I don't go out of my way to find scary books. I'm not a Stephen King thing. Horror books don't appeal to me. But that book is terrifying. The way it is written, and the crime is described. It's horrifying. Yeah.
You know what, Michaelis?
Yeah.
I'm going to take that under advisement. I'm going to retry. I don't remember what remember I very quickly gave it up. Like something
Mhm.
about it, I don't know, rubbed me the wrong way. Or
Mhm.
did you like the movie? Did you watch the movie too?
Yeah, the movie is pretty good. It's accurate, but I came to it after reading the book, so it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like no
Yeah,
surprises for me. But it's
yeah.
gripping. The movie's
I do.
gripping.
I do feel like the movie spent a lot of time trying to remind you that he was buddies with Harper Lee, and it's like, all right,
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, you know what? Well, especially with it being October coming up,
Uh-huh.
I will read it because last year for October I read Dracula finally,
Hmm.
and then the year before that I did every day in October I read a Edgar Allan Poe short story
Uh-huh.
and reviewed it on my blog. That was a fun October. So you know what? I'm gonna do In Cold Blood for
There you go.
October. Yeah,
Scary.
look at you,
Scary.
look at you making a sale. Ring Mike up for another ding ding.
I see you getting some reviews, some nice reviews for your book. Seems to be a little pickup in
Oh,
demand.
well, let's be honest. Once you put that Mike Lisk spin on, I mean, you put that Mike Lisk touch on it.
I'm still selling books for you, Brett.
I would like to announce, and I don't know if people are sick and tired of hearing me pushing my fucking books, but I did just have a chat with the guy who did the artwork for Williamsburg Rats, so that hopefully that paperback version will be ready sooner than soon.
Hmm.
So,
And ready in
do
time for
you have a
Christmas?
price point for that one?
In time for Christmas?
Oh, definitely. If he can get the old files together, it should be. I'm hoping within a couple of days, but
Uh-huh.
these things are.
Okay.
When I give my pause on these things, they never go smoothly. But they're definitely hoping the next couple of days. So 11.99 Williamsburg Rats. But yes, thank you everybody for the nice reviews and for reading. There's a lady in Canada who seems to be enjoying it, which I really appreciate. It means a lot to me. And yeah, so we'll get Williamsburg Rats out there in paperwork and start changing the world, Mike. One set of eyeballs and heart at a time.
There you go. So what do you give sweet and sour
Oh yes.
chicken?
Yeah. I give it high. See, the problem is it was really good. I don't know if I want to go higher than an 8 because it is so simple and plain, and it is kind of just basically chicken nuggets. But you know what? Well, you do your score. I'm gonna look at my old scores.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm gonna say mine is like a 5.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't really go back to. I wouldn't go back to this.
Well, I was very light with the sauce, with the goop, so maybe that helped. Yeah. Definitely better than that. Yeah. You know what? I'll do 8-1.
8-1.
Enjoy it.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's one of your highest scores.
it's the highest since dumplings, and I gave a 7.6. Lo mein a 7.1. So this is my highest since the original.
Wow.
Very young. Yeah.
I did not see that coming. And was your sauce
Really?
more sweet than sour? Where does the sour come in?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know where the sour comes in any more than I know where the duck comes in duck sauce. But
good point.
It was what I was hoping for. Kind of just
Mhm.
nebulous. Like didn't really make
Uh-huh.
too much of a change. And the chicken was great. I'm bummed now. I wish I had done the pork, which I
Mhm.
think I originally said when we mentioned it.
Yeah, that's what
But
you
yeah,
told me we're doing.
perfectly fine. I could eat sweet and sour chicken like this whenever. So 8-1, very good. Not the most original dish or anything like exotic, but super solid. And I was happy to have it.
Mhm.
So
Did you get
I'm
a
gonna read In Cold Blood. You're gonna watch the Ken Burns doc and get super depressed about the
Okay.
Holocaust.
Oh,
Because
that's
I
my
promise
homework?
you,
Okay. Wow, that's
I promise you,
I
and you're
wish
even more of a man of history than myself.
that's
It's
some
gonna be
rough homework.
shockingly. It's gonna be shockingly more depressing than even you would think.
Yeah. All right. Well,
So
you're gonna get a
now
real
you got something
downer
to look
next
forward to.
week then. You're setting me up. Did
That's
you
all
get a
right.
fortune cookie?
No,
No.
I didn't get. This is 2 straight weeks. I didn't get one.
Yeah, what's going on?
Did you get one?
I got one again. Another sort of weak sauce. They fail.
No pun intended.
They fail, and they alone who have not striven. Well, no shit, right?
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
Who doesn't
God.
strive in life, though? I mean, it's striving every day.
Yeah, literally, striving means trying. So
striving means getting out of bed, right? I mean, you're striving once you get out of bed.
I mean, even from being Mike, that's a low bar. I mean, nobody strives less than.
But you have to get through the day, right? Everybody's got to get through the day somehow.
Yeah, boy, they are really. We're gonna have to find out who to talk to about these fortunes, because
somebody is telling me we should just write our own fortunes every week.
Oh,
yeah, be a creative.
I'll write yours. I'll write yours and you write mine. Is that what you're saying?
No, just write. Whatever you're inspired by, because these are supposed to be universal things. They're not supposed to be personal.
Yeah. All right. Ooh.
So.
Ooh. Nice.
We'll get philosophical next week with our own.
Scratching me where I itch.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right.
All right.
I mean, I don't know why we keep giving each other homework, but all right.
Yeah. Grist for the mill.
Snakes and the Holocaust, and snakes, the Holocaust, and me walking around with Gwyneth Paltrow naked. Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah, we covered a lot of territory with this episode.
Yeah. Yikes.
We better wrap it up.
Yeah. Oh, hour 19. Tom's gonna have a fit.
All right. For Egg Foo, what? I'm Mike Lisk.
I'm Greg Wilson. Thanks again for listening to another episode of Egg Foo. What? See you next week.